what that job earns, minus taxes, of course. Now we start to figure out that that 70-10-10-10 model that I showed you before. What goes into that 70 so that we have the 10-10-10 available to do those savings things for our long-term financial health. I really honestly believe, guys, if you can do 70-10-10-10, you will eventually be financially independent, and you can live comfortably knowing that if something happened, like like a pandemic, and you were unemployed suddenly, that you would still be able to pay your bills and afford to live where it is you're living. So when it comes to finding a place to live, I understand that not all of you are going to want to continue living here in good old Olympia, Washington. It certainly is gray at times. Right now outside my window, it's looking a little gray, in fact. Hence my background here, where I really want to be is in one of those huts over the water back there. And so, yeah, depending on what you choose and where you decide to go, there's going to be quite a lot of variability in terms of prices of where you're going to live. So you'll notice on the find a place document, I suggested a 2-bedroom apartment. Of course, you can get a 1-bedroom apartment. Again, the more realistic you make this for your life, then hopefully the more useful it will be. I've certainly had students who've done let's see what the big, houses in, on, what is that, Dodge Island down in Miami are going to run us, and certainly we can go take a look and see how much that you would have to make to afford one of those. But what we're going to do, I'm going to show you a couple of tools to help you try to figure out some of the costs associated with renting a place wherever it is you've decided that you want to live. You may really, really want some sun. So we're going to look maybe down in the California, Arizona area. You may really want to live on the East Coast. I know a lot of people do. Having been born there, I'm glad I don't, but that's okay. I've lived in Washington and in fact Olympia for quite some time. I really do enjoy it here. So the first tool I'm going to show you is actually one that I'm sure you're all quite familiar with. It's Craigslist. Yeah, Craigslist is actually a really handy tool when you're looking to find an apartment. And so right now you can see I'm set for Seattle, Tacoma. Craigslist exists in lots of other areas around the country. Now, what I have to caution you is that it's not always the go-to for rental property management in some of those areas. So if you're looking on Craigslist and you're getting a little disappointed, it may be because there's some sort of localized version of this that people are using more when they're looking to rent things. I don't remember the name of the site off the top of my head, but I know that, like, if you were in Salt Lake City, Utah, it would not be Craigslist. There would be something that's a much more popular engine for them to use down there. So yeah, I'm going to actually go so whenever I type in Craigslist.org, you can see it puts the Seattle in front of it because it knows that I'm located here in Seattle. But we're actually, okay, I'm going to allow you to know my location. There's actually Craigslist all around the world. So you can certainly pinpoint wherever it is that you would like to live. So I'm going to start off with a pretty popular destination for a lot of our students who think that they're really tired of living here in good old Olympia. Many of them decide that they would like the warm, sunny beaches of Southern California, which does sound pretty nice. And I'm going to go specifically to San Diego area because I know there's lots of folks who like the thought of living in San Diego. I do. I like the idea in San Diego. So let's just take a look at what San Diego has to offer us for apartments. And you can see there's a whole housing site here. And you can then get some ideas in terms of what these properties are going to run you. So you can see that they have a map view. You can see that they can show you like where it is. Gaslamp Quarter, downtown San Diego. It's kind of a nice little area. So let's take a look at what this apartment would would be like. And you can see, wow, $2,700 a month for a 1,000-foot 2-bedroom apartment. So here's some pictures. You can see, oh, those are very nice floors, aren't they? And you can cruise through the apartment and sort of see roughly what it's going to be like living in there. This one's kind of empty, of course. There's no furniture in it. So, oh, there's those granite countertops they were talking about. So very nice. So that would be a good place to start. You can see that it is $2,700 a month. Now, somewhere on there, I think I talked about maybe you're going to need a roommate. And so I definitely think at $2,700 a month, unless you're one of those doctors that we looked at before, you would probably want to have a roommate. I am noticing that this one is a pretty prime location, obviously at $2,700 a month. It's over here in the Gaslamp Quarter, which if you've never been to San Diego is a pretty nice area, and it's pretty near some of these nice public beaches. So I think that would be a fun place to live. But boy, that's a hefty price tag. I got to be honest, guys. That's more than my mortgage right here in good old Olympia. But of course, that's the price you pay for living in San Diego. So if San Diego is not your speed, you know, there's other types of search engines that you could go to. I think one of them is called rent.com. Oops, going skyward for some reason here. Let me just type it in here. Rent.com. And so here at rent.com, we can type in a city, a neighborhood, or a zip code. We can tell it we want to find an apartment. And maybe we decided, no, we'd actually much rather be on the East Coast. And so we're going to look at Boston, Massachusetts. And this will pull up a variety of different apartments and things in the Boston area. I like this one because it has the little dots, so you can just kind of roll over the dots and it'll pop up what that is. There's a lot of them there. These are all very expensive. Oh, contact for price. So some of them we may not be able to get the price tag on. So these are way out of town. So you get a sense for like where it's located. I know some of us were like, oh, I really don't want to have to buy a car. And that's probably true. You don't want to. Oh, they're going $1,500 a month. Let's see what they have for us at Clipper Apartments. Or was this one where we have to contact them? Let's see if I can get that one. There we are, Clipper Apartments. Oh, come back. Oh, well, you get the idea. Oh, there we go. You get a little view of what the apartment is going to look like. Oh, it's nice and big. This is a 1 to 2 bedroom and a 1 bathroom apartment. You can see it's carpeted. It's not wood floors throughout, and it's 1,500 plus. So I'm not sure what the plus is. Sometimes that's hard for us to figure out. In there, I asked you to do some estimates of some utilities, and maybe there's a way you could do that. It would be tough. I would suggest Googling, you know, once you've decided on a location, Googling kind of, you know, average energy costs, average, you know, water, sewer, garbage, those kinds of things. Sometimes those are included, sometimes they're not. Don't sweat a lot of that. We'll do our best to estimate it as we work on this. As promised, I said we would go. This is the YouTube channel. I meant to mention that earlier. Didn't mean to go right here, but so that's my YouTube channel, and these are the videos, and I think you'll see that there'll be more budget project videos popping in here. There's also going to be some Calc BC and some stats ones, but this way you can you can just go straight here to access them. I tried Schoology. I don't know what happened to those. So if real estate is really your thing, there's lots of, oops, I meant to type redfin.com, sorry. I was thinking about real estate earlier. And, Windermere.com is fine too. But redfin.com is a nice one because you can search lots of different cities around here. And so Miami, Florida, we'll just go take a look in Miami and see what they've got available. And this is where I told you, like, some of my students get a little crazy. So, but it is kind of fun to go and take a look at these ridiculous houses that are on Dodge Island here. Let me zoom in a little bit. This is some of the Dodge Island and the surrounding islands over here are some of the most expensive real estate in the United States for as far as residential real estate goes. So let's see if we can find a good one here. So, I'm gonna remove that outline. So let's see. Oh, look at this. We've got ourselves some really nice homes available here. If you're looking for something in the, I don't know, let's say $29 million range, there's a 8-bedroom, 11-bathroom place available. If you prefer, oh, this is very nice. I think we should take a look at this. Here's our little villa here at the end of the island. Now, at $25 million, of course, you're going to be needing some roommates. Luckily, there's 8 bedrooms available, and you can play around with these at your leisure. So they're always kind of fun to get in there and look at. So that's what the Find a Place is all about. If you are so inclined, there's lots of opportunities all over the country to live. So don't feel like you have to choose Olympia. But if you want to choose Olympia, then Craigslist is always a good one for us. I think you could choose Windermere, which would be a good real estate site if you decide you want to buy a house instead of rent. That's totally up to you. We'll talk more about those kinds of ideas as we get a little bit further into the project. So as to why you might buy instead of rent. So I like scrolling through these ridiculous homes because, why not? Anyway, that's really all there is to the Find a Place document. It is really just trying to get as best a handle as we can on what it's going to cost to live in a particular area. So if you're apartment building, if you can find out more about it, if you find one, great. Find out what those utilities are going to run. Most of us want Wi-Fi in our place, so if that's not included, you have to look at probably Comcast or Time Warner Cable, and figure out what they charge a month. For the decent amount of bandwidth, you're probably looking at $50 to $100 a month. So those are kinds of things that we want to budget for if we run into them. So, well, that's about it for finding a place to live. Hopefully you have some luck and have some ideas. If you have no idea where you want to live, maybe do a little research just around here. Go, choose Seattle, choose Portland or something like that, and start there. If you've got a real specific idea, though, get out there and find it. I want you to figure out exactly what it's going to cost to live wherever that place is that you want to be. So, all right, guys, make it real for yourself, and you will get more out of this project. That is all I have for you today. So have a wonderful morning. Have a wonderful 4-day weekend. We won't be getting together until next Friday unless we need to. So if you have an urgent message, please feel free to email me and check in with me, and I will be checking my email constantly. So, and don't forget to like the video if you want to leave a comment, subscribe. Kidding, don't do that unless you want to. All right, see you guys later. Bye.